Mr. Wade here. I'm out here in Troutdale, Oregon, doing a video on a school shooting. Now, the school shooting that took place out here in 2014, and it was the subject of Emilio Hoffman, 14-year-old that was actually shot and killed by a guy named Jared, another student. The high school here is called Reynolds. Big news back in 2014. And this sets off our Tombstone Whispers video. This is the high school that everything took place in 2014. Emilio Hoffman lost his life at the age of 14 from another student named Jared. So this will be our story on school shootings, and this will be how Mr. Wade is bringing you guys a story of today. Stay tuned for a lot more. Now, this subject matter is a very touchy subject because a lot of these school shootings have been going on throughout the years, even before 2014. Now, the one that happened out here in Reynolds High School, it was one of the biggest tragedies out here in Troutdale, Oregon at the time. I think President Obama even came out here and spoke after that happened. There were a lot of money raised. I think it was almost $1 million raised to revamp the place. The name Reynolds got changed over to what it's now. It's called a different high school now. We posted that name up here. But definitely things have changed over the years here since 2014. I posted something on our channel about how it's been a subject matter of maybe parents, are they liable or unliable for their kids' behavior of becoming a shooter at a high school or junior high school or whomever? Are they held liable? That poll is up, yes or no, just a subject matter that I posted. But definitely they said the age of school shooters have changed to where it was an older age of school shootings, now it's becoming younger. And they're trying to figure out what causes all this type of things to go down, which makes a student go to a school and do this horrific thing to other students. Is it a plotation? Is it a mental breakdown? Or what is it about? But Mr. Wade and Mrs. Crime will bring you the story. This is the high school where our story took place of Emilio Hoffman losing his life at the age of 14 here. Wow. Stay tuned for more. Mr. Wade here. We're now at the Douglas Cemetery out here in Troutdale, Oregon. Now, earlier, I took you guys to Reynolds High School, and our story starts off with a school shooting back in 2014. Now, what caused the school shooting? Me and Mrs. Prime do not know. Either the parents of the school, children do not know. But yet, a lot of these school shootings are happening abroad, the United States, and of course in the United States. And we all think about, what does a student, what does a young teenager, what does a young adult go through to make them want to do this type of tragic thing at a school? Recently, we had the one that happened on the news where the young female or transgender female decided that she wanted to go to an elementary school to shoot it up and have a shootout with the police. Beyond, can't fathom it, right? But yet, these type of things go on consistently in the news. So our story today, over here at the cemetery and at the school, high school Reynolds out here in Troutdale, Oregon, we start off the story of Jared, last name of Padgett. If I'm wrong, Mr. Wade does mess up, I will post the names here. Now, he was a child that was known to be going to church. He was a deacon at the church, or the person that, goes around and helps out the people at the church. He was from a huge family, they state. The family consisted of a military background. So in his mind, one day he wanted to go into the military like his older brother. So he ended up, basically what he did was he ended up plotting, planning on how to kill numerous kids at Reynolds High School. What brought this on? We don't know. So Emilio was somebody that was a student. I don't know if he was a friend of his, but he played soccer. Now, Jared decided that he will go to this school the morning of to actually, I guess, kill Emilio. Now, after the fact of this tragic incident, he was also, Jared, he had a journal that he wrote in daily. Now, inside this journal, he talks about how he wants to end his own life and how he wants to go to the school to shoot up the school. So there is a plotation that he had. And what he did was the morning of, he packed a duffel bag with weapons. He had a guitar case that he had one of the weapons inside of. A lot of people thought he played guitar, but he had his stuff inside the case. So he came to school that morning, and people said he had a blank stared face. He did not look like a normal day. He had a blank look on his face, and he decided to just go ahead and just do what he planned on doing. So, besides the journaling, this is found after the tragic incident. He goes to school, goes near the soccer area where I guess Emilio practices soccer or does something over that way, which is soccer. So he ends up going to where he is, which is near the physical ed department. He goes in the physical ed department, into the locker room. He puts on a flak jacket with ammunition stored inside of it. He took the type of weapon, I'm going to post it as I'm speaking to you guys. He took the weapon right, which was an AK assault kind of gun. I'm not really good with the gun's totality, but familiarize myself with them. Mr. Wade got to learn that. So he takes himself a flak jacket, ammunition, loads of magazines on him, took the weapon, went and found Emilio inside the locker room, shot and killed him, and then he grazed a responding physical ed teacher that responded inside the place. He shot him in the hip. Then he went and barricaded himself in the physical ed PE room bathroom and shot himself, suicided, before the SWAT team and everybody that responded could get to him. Very sad thing here. So he had a plan, plotted. I don't know if it went as justified he wanted it to go, but he did what he did, which is very, very just off the charts tragic. So Emilio is here at this cemetery. That's what brings me and Mrs. Crime here, to bring the story to you about school shootings, because it's such in the news over and over. I don't think a month goes by that there's nothing in the news about this subject matter. So, as I explained earlier in this footage, the Reynolds High School 2014, that was the most tragic thing that happened in high school history at that time out here in Troutdale, Oregon. Now, as you see, I'm out here in Douglas Cemetery. Mrs. Crime is out there taking her photos, of course, and her video footage of this quaint, nice cemetery. As you can hear the birds up in there chirping. Today's a cold day, of course. You know, it's in its low 40s. It's been raining out this area for Oregon for the past week. And I think we're coming to an end and bringing this spring thing on. But this story here is very touching. And we are here to visit Emilio's grave. We're going to show you more of this beautiful cemetery, and we're going to visit Emilio's grave. Stay tuned. As you see, Mrs. Crime over there. There she is. She's taking her photos. Now, Mrs. Crime, she actually cried on the way here. You know, a lot of these stories that I find, she doesn't want to even hear about them. She's going to come here and pretty much see the grave footage and to give respect, because things like that happens close to home, and we can't imagine what families go through to have something like this happen. Stay tuned for more. Hey, Mrs. Crime, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right. How you feel about this story about Emilio and the school shooting over at High School Reynolds?
That's very sad. Very sad story.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it does smell like some kind of camping out here. It's cold out here. Definitely have a lot of fireplace going on. It smells nice out here. Wow. Like I said, very beautiful cemetery here. The sun comes through and it just shows you the beauty here. Now, I don't know if I failed to mention about more of the story. Now, the vest that Jared wore, it was a ballistic vest, which means that he was ready for combat. Now, the guns, the ammunition, the flak jacket or ballistic jacket, he actually got all that stuff from home, the family home. And so the question has been, I posted it earlier on Tombstone Whispers channel about should parents be held liable or non-liable for their children's actions as far as something like this, shooting which caused murder at a school, that all the equipment, weapons that he had was from home. That was one of the questions. Let me know yes or no if you decide if you want to answer that question or not. But also too, Jared, the shooter in this story, he was known to be quiet. He had a big fascination for weapons, big fascination of guns. He was in ROTC. He was 15 years old. Like I said earlier, he wanted to be like his older brother, go into the military. He was definitely into the military thing. Quiet soul, he was very neat with everything, like a neat freak, very neat. He was known to keep everything very neat. Definitely, this is something that premeditated, as they say in the court system, and very tragic story. Me and Mrs. Crime are now at the gravesite of Emilio Hoffman. Mrs. Crime found the location. I was looking everywhere, and we found it. So we're here to give respect to a short-lived Emilio Hoffman. Stay tuned. This is the grave of Emilio Hoffman. We love him a lot, but God gives him more. July 15th, 1999 to June 10th, 2014. Keep going and don't look back. Unfortunately, his life was taken by a guy named Jared, 15 years old, a year difference, at Reynolds High School. Emilio Hoffman. We love him a lot, but God gives him love more. Wow. There's love given right here with the bracelets. And he definitely was into soccer, as we see. Right here, Emilio Hoffman.
And he would have been 15.
One more month, Mrs. Crime, you're right. He'd have been 15. How do you feel about this?
I'm very sad, very upset.
Yeah. So many shootings going on abroad, United States, like I mentioned before, and also in the United States. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed our story here, tragic story of Emilio Hoffman and Jared Padgett that ended his life in a school shooting out here in Reynolds, out here in Troutdale, Oregon. I'm Mr. Wade and
Mrs. Crime.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all our subscribers out there. We are now at over 2,000. We thought we'd never be here, but we keep bringing you nice channel videos, and we enjoy what we do, and we enjoy watching you guys as well. Until next time, Tombstone Whispers. Until next time.